YouTube. Okay, so you just listened to the mock call for putting in a verbal 2 weeks notice for an on-call job or a part-time job. And if you notice, the employee called in. She was very professional. She took her time. She did not sound rushed. She was not anxious. She was not aggressive in her tone. She sounded very pleasant and very warm. Yet she had a very nice tone to her voice that made the employer probably feel sympathetic to the fact that she was actually calling in to give a 2 weeks notice. You want to make sure that your words are very clear when you call in to verbally give a 2 weeks notice to a job. The whole point and purpose of doing this for an on-call job or a part-time job is to still have a professional relationship with the company. Even though you may have only worked there, let's say a month, and out of a month you may have only worked there 4 or 5 days, you still had a professional working relationship with this company. So you want to make sure that you have this kind of long-lasting relationship. 2 reasons. You may need to go back to this company for a part-time work or on-call job, or you may need to use them as a reference because you don't want to have a resume that has a large gap in it, whether it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 2 months, or even a year. You want to have something in there to say, I was working even though it was on call, and I may have only worked out of 6 months, 10 days or 12 days or whatever the case may be. So make sure that you sound relaxed, smile in your voice. If you're smiling on your face, they can hear it in your voice. And this is going to help you in the long run because you always want to make sure that you have a consecutive work history. And if you don't, you want to keep a professional relationship with the companies that you've worked for, even if it was for a short time frame. A lot of people don't even think about calling in for a part-time or on-call job and giving a 2 weeks notice. Technically, there's no professional law that says that you have to give a 2 weeks notice for an on-call or a part-time job. But for me, professionally speaking, I think that it just establishes a great relationship. Even though you're moving on, it still gives you a good professional relationship with the companies that you worked for. So don't feel like you're over the top because you're giving a verbal 2 weeks notice for a company or a job rather that you work for a very short time frame, part-time or on-call. They will appreciate you even more if you give them a 2 weeks notice. Now, that's not to say that you will need to physically have this 2 week time frame with them. They may even tell you at the end of the call that, well, we really appreciate that you called in and gave us a 2 weeks notice. What we'll do is, as you heard in the conversation, is that we will settle up your check and we'll get that out to you as soon as possible. And don't worry about coming in and physically being here for the time frame of 2 weeks, but we just want to let you know we appreciate you. So make sure that you have that in there. And you can also put in the conversation that your 2 weeks notice you're giving them is effective the day that you call. Make sure you let them know putting in my 2 weeks notice effective today. Very important to do because you want them to know that this is not going to be in the next month or whatever, that this is going on right now today, and that's the reason why you're calling. So I hope you guys took a lot of pointers from the best and professional way to call in and give a 2 weeks notice for an on-call or a part-time job. Make sure you tune in and subscribe to all of my YouTube videos. I love you guys, and I will have a lot more of the videos in regards to how to get a job, how to maintain a job, how to maintain a professional relationship with a company before, during, and after a job, and also the best way to interview. How do you interview? A lot of people have a lot of questions about how to interview, and it's not always just about the way you dress. The way you talk is extremely important. I love you guys. Make sure you subscribe, and see you soon.